Welcome to AARP, Arizona Hispanic Connection. Educate. Celebrate. Connect. Arizona Hispanic Connection.
Welcome to Arizona Barrio Stories. Welcome to Latino USA TV. Have you downloaded the app? We want to make sure that you are in the know, that you are informed of everything that is going on. We recently had an event at Corona Ranch, and we thank you for appearing. But we don't want you to say, oh, I didn't know about this. We want you to be in the know. And since I'm talking about being in the know, today on Salud, Dinero y Amor with David Paraluna, we want you to be in the know. He brings us the most interesting nuggets. David, welcome. What do we have in store today?
Thank you. It seems like it's been a long time.
I was going to say the same thing. I haven't seen you in forever.
I know. I missed it a lot. Well, we are in a series of messages on retirement bound. I feel that retirement is a big deal, and more so, I'm getting close to 60, not quite there yet, but my thinking is already there, right? And we feel that people need to understand, and not only those of us who are close to retirement, but more so younger folks. Why? Because everything that we do in employment, businesses, from the very beginning, whether we are aware of it or not, is linked to retirement. It is linked to retirement. Even when you look for employment, some employers offer benefits and others don't. So which ones are you going to favor, right? The ones that pay you more, no benefits, or a little less with benefits? And a big group I feel that could that need to be very, very informed are the self-employed, the so-called entrepreneurs, right? Because they don't have a company that is going to perhaps provide that pension, that 401k, that IRA. So they have to do it themselves. And I applaud them for daring, because it takes some guts, you know, to do to have your own business. But at the same time, they have to be very informed, and maybe they'll put it off a little bit in the beginning because they're just trying to get that business going. But eventually they cannot put it off for too long, because they also have to plan for themselves as to what sources of income are they going to generate for retirement. So my point here is that it's in everybody's interest to pay attention to retirement, whether you're just starting working, you're in midway, or kind of getting there. So we've covered several topics, Social Security, we've covered pensions. So we're coming back to 401ks. And off the air, you and I were talking about that. 401ks seem to, I think we can think of them as the replacement for pensions. People may wonder why companies don't offer pensions anymore. Well, we understand pensions are a big responsibility for an employer. So when they learn and when they have this new product called 401k, it was a no-brainer for them, right? I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I'm not a business person, but I have to believe that it was within their calculations, you know, because pension puts the responsibility fully on the employer. A 401k, not anymore. It's on you, right? So we would like to describe a little bit into some detail the 401ks.
When I was teaching, you know, automatically our school district offered a pension. Mm-hmm. And then I'm not sure how many years into teaching, then somebody mentioned 401k. And I'm thinking, What is that? That question of, is it something I should trust? So I'm glad you're hitting this topic today.
And by the way, you have a pension with the government because you were a teacher. And do you also have a separate plan, like a 401 type of?
Correct.
So this tells us that, and I know I have relatives that work for the government, they have both the pension and a 401k type of plan. So that tells us that most people who work for the government are in pretty good shape. They are going to be offered these kinds of benefits. That's why I think people might consider, joining the government for a job, because they will get offered these kinds of benefits, retirement benefits. But then, and I believe the construction companies, especially the ones that are stronger, I have a cousin who is very good in construction. He has a 401k plan, not a pension, but at least a 401k. So we could almost conclude that the bigger construction companies, I'm pretty sure they have those. But I'm also sure that a lot of the self-employed, of course, nobody's going to look out for them. They have to look out for themselves. And I'm sure that other smaller companies are probably not going to have anything. So all they're going to do, these folks who are employed by this type of employers, is Social Security. If they don't do anything, all they're going to have is a check from Social Security. And guess what? That's only supposed to provide like roughly one third of the money that you will need in retirement. What a conversation we're having, Irma. This is very, very important.
I'm glad you said young people. I'm
Yes.
hoping young people tune in and they're able to use this information.
So let's kind of review some of the points. What we know about 401k plans is that they are tax defer. So that means that the company, that you're not going to pay taxes on whatever contribution you make to the plan. So that is one incentive for you to contribute. Just recently, I was talking to this young lady, and I asked her, do you have any plans, retirement plans? You know what? I think they do. And do they match? I'm not sure. Guess what? She went home the very same night. She looked over the materials, and she even said that she learned that they had, but she was not contributing. So this is very important that folks really understand, and they ask when they are being interviewed for an employer, don't be afraid to ask, what benefits, retirement benefits do you have, right? In addition to the more basic ones, which is health insurance, right? So it's very important. So they are tax deferred, so you'll be saving on taxes. On that money that you contribute, you don't pay taxes. And they are payroll deducted. So it's so simple. That makes it so simple because you won't see it.
You can forget about it.
Yes. And then eventually you get used to the money that you get. That becomes the money that you use for your budget, because that's already the contribution for 401ks has been withdrawn, if you will. Now, the employer is not obligated to match, because there is this concept of matching, right? You separate 3%, I'll match that 3% with another 3%. That's matching at 100% the first 3%. And then they may say, and if you contribute 2 more, I'll match the 2%, but only 50%. So that's basically how the matching works. They're not obligated. At least with my plan, they match at those percentages. 100% on the first 3, 50% on the next 2%. So I'm separating 5. And really I'm separating 9% of my salary. Very important to understand the matching. And then there's contribution limits. That's very important to know. We are in the neighborhood of $23,000. It's not like you can contribute all. You can contribute up to $23,000. And then those people that reach 50, they do what is called catch up. So you can catch up, right? And they allow you to contribute more to those plans. How does that sound so far? You think
it sounds good. I mean, I keep thinking about the young people. I mean, like you said, you saw somebody recently, and I don't think they asked those questions. I think of my daughter, and I think, I wonder if she asked those questions when she got hired. So,
Yeah. It's also important to understand that the market plays a part in this. So the company that hires you and offers you the plan is going to contract a financial institution to manage that 401k plan. And they are going to invest your money and the company's money. In a sense, your money, because the match is literally your money, right? So people need to know what that company is. And we strongly recommend that you make an appointment with an advisor to talk to them, because you're going to need to select the level of risk that you are willing to take. There's a high risk, middle, and then low, or moderate, right? They call it in the middle one. So, and that has to do with stocks and bonds, right? Stocks is you own a little piece of the company. There's more risk involved in stocks, less risk in bonds, but the yield is also correspondent to the type of investments that you do, right? So if you do stocks, the tendency will be to make more or lose. And then the bonds,
we don't want to lose.
You win less, but you also lose less if that's. And let's understand that the market historically it's a roller coaster. It's very normal. The markets always go up and down, so that's very important to understand that. So that's why I keep saying that they do well if they do make an appointment with an advisor.
Mm-hmm. Investing is that little portion is like, oh, there's risk with it.
Yes, definitely. So now the money is invested and it grows. They call it compounded interest. And it's called compounded interest because the interest that it yields, it goes back and is reinvested. So you don't pull the interest that you're making or your money is making, but it goes back into the investment. So it's compounded. So that makes it, that gives it more opportunities to grow, to grow better. I recently neutralized my investments and I was looking at my records, and guess what? For some years, my money only made a little over 6%. A little over 6%. It's not, but again, I was very conservative, so it depends. I think had I been a little bit more aggressive, my money would have made more, but it's up to the individual, how comfortable you are with risk, right? It's important. Then taxes, you pay the taxes when you withdraw the money. That's very important to understand. And the account, it's with the employer. And let's talk to kind of end this topic is what are you going to do after you retire with that money? First of all, let's remember that at 59 and a half, it's a key date. You cannot touch that money without being penalized. After 59 and a half, you can touch it and no penalty. But the tax is always going to be there, right? So there's going to be
Uncle
taxes.
Sam always wants his
Definitely.
portion.
But pay attention to the age of 59 and a half. There's also a matter of getting loans. You can actually lend your own money to yourself. That's a very good thing to do. And the interest that you pay, you basically pay it to yourself. So that anybody interested in a loan, they should look into it and talk to an advisor to see how a loan would play out in their own particular situation. There is a minimum distribution at age 73. They recently changed this date. Now at 73, you are forced to take withdrawals from your 401k if you happen to not have done it yet, right? But at that age, I would say that a great majority probably have started to withdraw the money. And what do you do with the 401k, right? You can roll over to an annuity. I think it's pretty common to roll it over to an annuity. And so, but again, always make those appointments with an advisor from that plan, not your employer. The company, the financial institution that is managing your plan. So there you have it. I think we've covered the main points of this 401ks, which hopefully many people have them in place of what used to be pensions, right?
And like I said earlier, be in the know.
Definitely.
I think on a previous show, I had said something about getting your ducks in a row. Mm-hmm. Be in the know. I mean, when it comes to this, you can't not be aware.
Right.
Then those sources of income might not be there. Mm-hmm. So thank you.
Especially young people, they should make it a point to ask in every interview, what benefits do you offer? Sometimes they feel they don't have the right to do it. Don't think like that. go ahead and do it. It's very important that they learn what benefits are offered.
David, thank you, thank you, thank you. And our next topic I know will be just as good.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you from Arizona Barrio Stories and Latino USA TV. I hope you took notes. If not, you can rewind and watch this again. Thank you, and as always, I will see you soon.